Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We've got a blockbuster episode this week. The group chat's been absolutely bumping. Feel bad for all of the non-football lovers in our group chat because, boy, every time you look at it, there's like 99 plus messages popping off in the group chat. It's been a mad one. We've got United 4-4 with Bournemouth to chat through. Arsenal's 2-1 win over Wolves. Liverpool winning 2-0 at home against Brighton. And then also Chelsea, two games this week. They had a 2-0 win against Everton and then a 3-1 win against Cardiff in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. But before we get into it, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. For those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the other podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. And of course, the views expressed in this podcast, I feel like this disclaimer is very critical to this week's pod. The views expressed in this podcast are just for entertainment purposes. They do not reflect the actual opinions of us unless football related. So yeah, we're going to get into it. How are you lads doing? First of all, we've got a very sick IO in the top right hand corner. We've got a fellow that shall not be named in the bottom left who was screaming and crying about having the pod today and at this time in the bottom left. And we've also got Razor, shout out Razor, who actually pegged it all the way back from five-a-side to make it. Wasn't going to be on the pod originally, but he's made it, so big him up. And we might have a little cameo from Rhys as well. That's why we pushed Chelsea right down to the bottom, just so he can chat about the team that he supports, because I feel like whenever he joins, it's past the Chelsea segment. So we'll get into all the other teams first. How are you, man, doing? Io, we'll go to you. Anti-stats in the tagline. How you feeling, bro?
I think watching United gave me the flu. I think it was that bad. So I think that game was a great end. Yeah, but no, apart from that, it's a bit sick today. So it might not sound the best, but I'm ready to dissect and give some great analysis, obviously.
Yeah, we'll try and get your top tier analysis in before you probably check out later on when the flu gets better of you. But yeah, what about you, Khem? How you doing, bro? You doing all right? I'm gonna give you a less gracious and welcoming intro, considering your shenanigans just now. But how you doing, bro?
Good to see all of you, man. I'm really proud that you battled hard to dial in today.
It is IO. It is IO. We have discussed this.
2026. I'll kick off in the new year.
We've discussed this. Please be better. Before I put your government back on the internet again. The government name can be very much shouted. But back to the point.
Yeah,
introduce.
Good to see Antony smiling because it's been a while. He hasn't smiled since Sunday. And glad my best friend made it as well after his football game. I wonder what the XG was in his game as well. But I won't say too much. Today is all for Ant's crash.
Razor, how you doing, bro? Did you win? First of all, we'll get to the XG part afterwards. But did you, man, win?
We did not win.
Yikes!
It almost felt like Amarin was at the wheel. We were lackluster in defense and lackluster going forward, and the guys that came to support us went to the pub early. But we are second in the league. I'm not sure if we're still second in the league, but we're second in the league. As an Arsenal fan, I have experience with this position. I'm okay with it. Do you know what I mean? It's not that deep for me currently. But yeah, I am glad that I am here. And that I got here before this guy in the bottom left, who it's too early in the show for me to use the language that I would like to use to describe him. So I'm just going to say that I'm here, I'm good, and my team are still top of the table.
Did your striker run the channels but not score any goals?
Don't, because I'm going to stay us locked off.
Let's calm down, guys. We'll save that for the Arsenal Wolves segment, all right? We're going to load that just back for Jonty as well, because he's going to watch this back tomorrow. And that was another part of the group chat that was popping up.
Than I do with my actual striker. Leave me alone.
We'll get into that later, man. We've got to save the crashes for specific segments. We can't all just crash at the same time. All right, let's go through United. 4-4 with Bournemouth on Monday Night FC. 2-1 up at half-time, and then it ends 4-4. Crazy game. Bournemouth have a couple of big chances right at the end as well. And yeah, unbelievable game for a neutral, but for a United fan, roller coaster. For the rival fans, it was probably hilarious. The defending was pretty poor all round. I would say even Bournemouth's defending was pretty bad as well. Their goalie had a stinker in that game. If you look at the Casemiro header, don't know what he's doing. And he flapped that couple of other chances as well, which, yeah, Chelsea goalies, man, not a good look. But yeah, ends 4-4. The group chat absolutely pops off. And why does it pop off, Io? Do you want to introduce the topic with your famous sentence that had me crashing out on the group chat?
No, just analytics. You brought analytics to the group chat and then didn't.
No. What was the first thing that was said? Because no analytics was brought first. What did you say?
That Bournemouth deserved to win.
Okay, Bournemouth deserved to win. Now, please state your case.
State my case. Well, I think if you watch the game for 90 minutes, that you'll think it was pretty evident. As I said, the first half, it was the first 30 minutes of the game, it was all United, and I've held my hands up to that. And you guys had you in the ascendancy. Bournemouth came back for like another 10 minutes, then you took the lead into the second half, which was fine. But the second half, you cannot tell me Bournemouth were not absolutely playing a lot better than you. You had your momentum when you got the 2 goals. I may also add, your goal came from mistakes as well. 2 of your goals came from mistakes. And this is what I had to knock down as well. So obviously the whole big chances missed. Yeah, and then when you decided to bring in expected goals, you just triggered me.
Wait, what's the 2 mistakes? Clarify. What
2 mistakes?
2 goals or mistakes?
Casemiro's header should not be getting in with any competent keeper. Yeah. And then Cunha's goal with what's his name, Trusseg, failing to get his feet sorted out. Absolutely pathetic.
You calling that a mistake, yeah?
The geezer tripped over his legs and kicked the ball right to Cunha right next to him. In what world is that not a mistake, Antony? What world? 2 mistakes.
All right, we'll get to your points then, because first of all, don't disagree with the breakdown that you've given. By the way,
thank you.
United dominate first 30 minutes. Bournemouth get back into it. I wouldn't say they had the 10 minutes. It was more back and forth. They had some chances. They finally started playing better, but we still had chances in that period as well. We go 2-1 up. Very lucky actually, because that Casemiro goal. You're 100% right. I don't agree with the Cunha one that much, although obviously Truffert did cock it up, right?
Yeah,
like he's a better defender, you know, maybe not a Virgil of this season, but a Virgil when he was actually not twerking. He probably clears that, and it's an easy clearance for him. But most other defenders of kind of regular ilk, I'm not going to be that harsh on him, but I hear you. But if you look at that first half, the only thing I will say, the disparity between our dominance in the first 30 minutes compared to what Bournemouth did in the second half, they weren't even. And that's the only point that I want to make. So when we talk about the chances, the argument we had about analytics was I put United had 3.4 XG, Bournemouth had 1.94, right? Then Jonty brought in the big chances, and his breakdown was actually quite fair, I think. He was like, we stat padded the XG because we had only, 9 on target to Bournemouth's 9 on target. So the 2 big chances we had, I've looked into the stats, right? So I've got the Sofa Score stuff up. I've been waiting for this, right? Is Ahmad. Ahmad's one is a big chance they've clarified, yeah? And the other big chance they've given is the Cunha goal. Those are the only 2 big chances they've accounted for as being big chances. If we watch that first half, Mount misses one on 8 minutes from about 6 yards out. He should score. Cunha misses another one. Then Ahmad scores. Then Cunha misses another chance from the edge of the area, which he should at least get on target, but I would expect him to score. But you could say that's not a big chance, fair dues. And Mbeumo blazes one over from, again, 6 yards. You can say it's on the volley, but most of us would expect Mbeumo to, again, at least put it on target, if not score. That's all before Bournemouth have done anything in the whole game. So I've counted, 7, including 1 goal and at least 3 or 4 big chances, which for whatever reason, I don't know the stats on big chances, why they're not included. So if we compare that with what Bournemouth did in the second half, that's not the same.
Of course it is.
Even including Bournemouth. No, it's not, bro. I've looked at what the shots that Bournemouth have had. They did not have even that number of shots.
This is why
that's not analytics. That's fact.
Because Tavernier
shots are based on facts.
Tavernier missed the clear-cut header, which he should have scored. Literally,
yeah, that's in the first half.
Yeah, Tavernier missed the header. They scored 4 goals. I don't get how you can have an expected goal of 1.9 after you score 4 goals. I think that just kind of defeats the whole point of it. Because if you score 4 goals, how can you have less than, let alone less than 3? How can you have 1.94 expected goals? It makes 0. Like, I don't know. Obviously, there must be a stats thing to it.
Because they're low percentage chances that they scored from. Right, the Tavernier free kick is a low percentage one, just like the Bruno one is a low percentage one, because you don't expect every player to be able to score a free kick. from where they were. They're not a big chance, right? So that's the thing about some of the Bournemouth chances that that's the one goal that's not a big chance. All three of their other goals are big chances. And then they've missed, like you said, the Tavernier header.
Yeah.
And then I think Tavernier and then Brooks missed 2 right at the end.
And they didn't, yeah. And
which you've clarified.
I mean. So you had your dominance, but I'm saying that in terms of chances, like that's me. Like if I was a Bournemouth fan in that first half, I'd be like, okay, we deserve to lose. But leaving that game at the end of it, I'd have been very gutted that we didn't win the game because those chances
based on chronological order. Yeah, based on the chronological order of it. Yeah,
that was my point, and that's what I mean. So and that's why I hate the analytics because I'm just like I watched that game and there was no way I left that game thinking United should have won that game at all. And go on, Ray. Go on, Bob.
Go on, Ray.
KDB. Let me talk. I feel like that all of the, like when we take the crash out away from it, all of the energy and all the analysis of the game was quite fair in the group chat, which is why the crash out entertained me so much. Because I don't feel like anyone said anything mad wild. I do feel like Ayo's point in terms of like Bournemouth could, and some may argue should, feel like they drop points by leaving with 1 rather than 3. United could also feel that way, and you are a United fan, so I understand why you would feel that way. But at the end of the day, I don't feel what the point of the crash out and the discourse that we've been having, which was about like whether it was valid or reasonable to say that Bournemouth could have felt like they deserved to win the game or Bournemouth deserved to win the game. Do you know what I mean? And I think the chronology element is potentially being understated in the sense that like they talk about this really well in like the NBA, and they talk about teams going on runs, and obviously you don't score as much in football, but you can still have a run of dominance. Do you know what I mean? And that's why chronology is an element in terms of game state that can and probably should be considered when we're talking about how much a team has dominated a game. If you dominate the game in the first 35-40 minutes and then you struggle to regain that dominance throughout the next 55-60 minutes, I think that kind of shows a swing in terms of how the game goes, and it shows that Bournemouth were probably more in the game towards the ending of the game when, you know, we all watch football, we've all played football at some stage. We know that's when more chances happen. People are tired, people are leggy, etc. I don't think United necessarily played bad, and I don't feel like the comment that Bournemouth could have felt like they were meant to win the game necessarily insults that performance. But if you concede 4 goals at home, you know, someone put in the group chat, I think it was the greatest question that you could have asked. How do you go in at half time, have a team talk, and come back out less motivated? Like, wagwan there. Definitely. Like, what happened there?
It's what happens at FM, man. When you give those team talks and the morale always goes red because they just haven't inspired. It happens all the time.
No, but that's like my five-a-side team when man them are cussing each other at half time, being like, "Brother, you didn't cover me. Well, you don't pass." Even when we're winning, we come out sometimes with shit 3 goals, but ain't nobody paying.
No, I agree with that though.
700 bags.
I agree with it. But I agree with that, guys. And even on the group chat, when we initially went back and forth, I literally said, if you based it on chronological order, that makes sense. But then if you look at the totality of the game, I'm not even talking about like the first 35 minutes. I'm including all the swings and roundabouts. I'm not going to get into field tilt and that proper bullshit stats stuff, right? That's way too far. XG already, big chances makes me feel ashamed of myself to bring it up. But if you look at the momentum swings, right? If you look at the momentum swings, you can't say 35 minutes and then the other 55, because the other 55, what you saying? Is it that Bournemouth dominated more of the other 55? Which when you look at the momentum swings and you also just watch the match, like from 65 minutes until 85 minutes, United had more of the ball, scored 2 goals, had another big massive chance where Burma should score. So we're talking about the game stakes, and of course, if you end the game on the up, then to people watching it, that's the last thing you see of the game. I can understand. That's why I said chronologically makes total sense. If you say Bournemouth can feel aggrieved that they haven't come away with 3 points, no problem. But if you look at the first 35 and you have 7 or 8 chances, we're talking about game states and momentum. If you score 3, I'm not even saying all of them. If you score half of the chances you had, our defense is diabolical. But I think the chances of us drawing or losing the game afterwards is a lot lower than it is if it's 2-1 or 1-0 or drawing, right? It's much more likely that with a poor defense, or if you have a manager who's not getting the best out of the players, let's be real. Because how can we've been up in most games that we've drawn or lost this season. I think Arsenal game, the Everton game are the main ones, and I think Brentford. But like Spurs, we were up, somehow completely threw it away. First half was good, second half was diabolical. Motivation obviously killed them. Nottingham Forest, same thing. This game, same thing. West Ham, same thing. Like it's a trait of the manager. And that's the reason why if we want to talk about our defense and how bad we are, we should. Because we had some stinkers in that defense, bro. Some players that I've defended a lot, like Lisandro Martinez, that Krupi goal, that's all his fault, man. I don't know what he's doing.
We should talk about that. We should talk about that instead of debating who was more likely to win. And I think realistically, if you look at it from that perspective, that is probably, if we were going to go back to that point, that is probably why I was so steadfast in this point, and I agreed with it, because I was like, let's say you, man, put your chances away in that first 35 minutes, like where like you had that dominance, and then obviously they probably would have had less of a sniff. The swings that swinged each way would have been probably less significant. I don't think Bournemouth are at Old Trafford being 2-3 goals down against this version of Man United and thinking, oh, we can't score goals to get back in the game, respectfully speaking. I don't
know. They could.
Like you're saying if we scored another one or two in that period of time, they wouldn't have come back out like.
No, I said the likelihood is lower. Use logic, right? It's likelihood is going to be lower. It's like the same with Brighton.
The likelihood's lower, but it's not impossible. We've seen you guys
it's not
before.
It's not impossible. Completely. We were 3-0 up against Brighton, bro. We did the same thing. We conceded almost threw it away.
You've seen it,
so it's possible. No, I'm just saying the likelihood is lower, bro. If you're 1-0 or 2-1 up, they can get back into it easily. 3-0
analytics. We talked about questions about your levels of disingenuousness. Can we talk about my
whisperer, bro? I'm looking at you.
Can we talk about my status today? Justice for the young black king. Justice for the young black king. HMP United. Free my boy Kobbie Mainoo.
Khem is burning. Khem is burning.
We'll go to Khem because Khem's the one that says Kobbie Mainoo's an industry plant. But we'll get to that first. But I just want to say, because the people we talk about disingenuous, right? Some of the United fans that have been talking about this Kobbie Mainoo thing have been very disingenuous as well, because they've come out and just acted like his stupid Love Island brother did that out of the blue. He didn't do that out of the blue. Amarim was in a press conferences, keying and laughing every single time a reporter mentions Kobbie Mainoo. And then he talks about Kobbie Mainoo like he's some under-16s player who's barely played a game. And as much as the jokes and banter runs with Khem and the industry plant stuff, what we can't deny is he had a big season a couple of years back, played in the Euros final, was one of England's better players in that Euros. And now suddenly he's being treated like he's, I don't even know, bro, Darren Gibson or one of these men like this, like he's absolutely useless. And so we can't, as much as Love Island guy is a bellend for doing that, it's also quite jokes. It's not him just doing it out of the blue. We have to acknowledge very much, and Nash will probably be somewhere punching the air, but also saying about time you've mentioned this. And the manager has created this problem, 100%. So, Khem, the floor's yours, bro. You can get into the game as well, but obviously Kobbie Mainoo is a topic that you like to bring up on the group chat. So get into it.
I was just enjoying it. Like after my crash last week, it was good to 20 minutes basically, and I could just sit back and enjoy it. What I love is the fact that this is how far you've fallen, that you shipped 4 goals at home to a team that I believe is like 13th or 14th, and we're talking about XG. Like, I remember when you blew the title when Aguero scored in the last minute. I think you drew 4-4 at home to Everton. I don't think I don't think XG was the first thing on anyone's mind, you know? If my team ships 4 goals, you've seen me when you've seen me crash out. So 4 goals at home is disgraceful, regardless of if Bournemouth deserve the chances or not. They've not actually won a game since the 26th of October. And
I thought you were going to say World War II or something like that.
this was the first time they've scored in December as well. So that is how far the mighty have fallen, which I love. To quote Io, it brings me great joy to see that. As for Kobe, yeah, he did obviously. I mean, I don't rate anything Southgate done. So whoever was in the team, sod it. Like, he was playing people that didn't belong there, including the person on topic who had one season in a bad team and can't even get into an even worse team. So we can blame the manager all we want, but if you can't get into this team, what does that say about you, man? Yeah, sometimes you have to look within, or you can go and find somewhere else or go on loan. But I think there's a real entitlement from your players over the years where they think that they deserve to play even when they're shit. And if they don't play, they cause a ruckus or do Salah stuff, basically, and go to the media and cause issues. Many of your players have done it. Like, how much cachet does he really have to be doing this? Like, I'm not even being disingenuous here. I'm just saying.
No, you're not being disingenuous. You're just chatting shit.
I'm just saying, if you can't get in this, if you can't get in this Man United team, then you have to look at yourself.
Of course, he can get in this team. The manager's obviously got beef with him, bruv. Like,
I don't know,
what are you
man.
talking about?
They don't get on.
Guy's choosing to play Ugarte.
He talks about
we
stuff
being
in training.
fucking serious?
What's going on in training? Is he doing what he needs to do? Is he doing his preparation? Is he doing his strength work? Is he doing his rehab? Is he doing the things he's supposed to do?
Mate, you have seen so many managers over the years, like, ice out a player, like, even if they're good enough to play. And this is what
this is the icing.
Yeah, he's
This is
icing
classic
out.
icing.
Like, it is, and you can't. Yeah, I can hear. Maybe he's not as good as maybe he was overhyped to. Yes, he might be just overhyped English talent. That could be true. But to think he can't get into this team at United based on how good he is crazy. And even when he came in against Bournemouth, there was times where I saw him on the ball and I was like, he's still got it.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
What minute did he come on? Wasn't it 2-1 at half time? Then it finished with Bournemouth scoring 4 goals. What was his contribution?
He came on nearly the 70th minute.
They still shipped 2 goals in that time, so he did great job.
No.
And he had fresh legs as well. So
Stop. All right. I didn't think I was going to have to be the bloody host on this part, right? Breaking up you, man. But he came on like this between the 60th and 65th minute. We were actually shocked. United fans were all shocked because normally he only comes on for garbage time. So we were actually like, damn, he's actually giving him some more minutes. So when he came on, no. Yeah, we'd actually let in 2 goals before he joined. When he came on, he contributed to the 2-goal swing back in our favor to make it 4-3. Right. So I actually was impressed. He had a pretty good game. I think the last 4 or 5 minutes he got dragged around everywhere, but I think that was a team thing. Everyone lost shape. It was manic. He was chasing the ball and things, and he got pulled out of place for their equalizer, which is not totally his fault because Lissandro should cover his ass and Aiden Heaven was all over the place, and it was just poor defensively throughout the whole game. But generally, if we talk about Kobe, he was pretty good, and I feel like it's very harsh to say anything other than the manager doesn't rate him and he's icing him out. I don't like we got the English overhyped thing, but I don't even think we can even go too far down that route because we've seen more better of him than bad of him. Like last season was little minor cameos and he's been getting gradually. Yeah, but he was barely playing, broski, and he got gradually iced out the whole time. And now he's fully iced out. He's not playing any games. So maybe there's something going on in the background. Maybe. Like, I'll give you a little bit of credit, Khem, maybe. But I'm more leaning with the Arsenal lads and thinking that this is classic case of Amrin doesn't rate him and he's icing him out.
Well, that's not good. It's just because he's a bogus manager. So if he can't rate you, then what's going on? No, but that's a bad look. He needs to go on loan, do a Rashford or something.
It's
and
a
then
very
ask
bad look.
He should have gone in the summer.
Because
this has been a long time coming. This has been a long time coming. He has an agent. You should move and prove yourself then. I don't know what he's doing.
He's been trying to.
In the summer, he wanted to go away. He didn't even.
Well, you need to do a Whistler and an Isak and sit out there. Don't go training.
He's a Man United. He's a Man United boy, and like he understands it, and he's not trying to escape the club. Personally, I thought the funniest, the most disrespectful part of the summer thing was that he was basically like, I think if I go on loan for a season, and spin the block, you might not be here when I get back. That's what I thought was quite funny and confident.
And he's right.
Himself. And he's right. That's a
He's
very
right.
valid take. That's a very valid take from Kobe. But let's be honest, yeah. You can't say like, oh yeah, like, okay, cool. Let me go on loan. Man was willing on, I heard he was willing to go on loan to the Championship, yeah. A player like in a World Cup here who's of Kobe's caliber, that's had Kobe's like previous year and previous like kind of like involvement with the England squad, willing to go and play in the second tier of football while his club is struggling. The manager said, no, we're keeping you. Or there was a decision like, no, we're keeping you here. Bro, it feels like they're trying to humble him. And I can't think why, because everyone's going on, oh yeah, his brother's this, his brother's a Love Island, da, 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 da. Sometimes you see me, yeah, I'm the crash out friend. I'm the crash out relative. I'm the guy that will do or say something stupid for my brethren, innit? Like, and I think everybody needs that. I'm sure even N'Golo fucking Kante has got one of them brethrens that will be like, are you dumb? What did you just say to man? And it's crazy, man. Like, how long is he supposed to be like sort of dealing with this? Like, he's not getting in the side against ahead of some players that look like they're finished. He's not getting any real sort of minutes in that. Like, why have you kept him here for this season? Like, if you don't want to play him, like he can't,
just selfish,
he can't
bro.
be training that badly. No, he's come up through the ranks at United. Like, they would have flagged the behavior problem. Like, I'm not saying that it was true about Pogba or true about Rashford or true about any of these other coincidentally black men that they've said this about, innit? But we would have heard it. If it was ever a thing, we would have heard it. They don't true, they don't wait to say that like young black players in England have behavioral problems or attitude problems or whatever. So why haven't we heard it until now with this guy?
Maybe it's just a talent problem, man. Maybe they planted him there.
You've seen him play, bro. I get it. You hate United, but shut up, man. He's good. He's good enough to play for that team.
He never did. He let his country down. Bro. You mentioned Euros as well. So.
diabolical behavior. But to talk about the attitude thing, Reza, it's not true. If they character assassinate Kobe, I'm gone. I may be on loan again at another club, because there's no way at all this lad has got attitude issues. It's literally taken, like what you man have just said. He's tried to leave amicably. He's dealt with there was rumors that we were trying to sell him last season actually as well, around that time of Garnacho as well. And Garnacho's brother was out there being a little prick. And even then, his Love Island brother didn't do anything. And he didn't say anything. So we can't act like this is an attitude problem. His brother's clearly just had enough. And he's taken 18 months. And that's fair enough, bro. Like, I think 18 months of drama.
He's definitely asked Kobe if it's okay though. There's no way he's about getting a blue.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
He's just not good. When you mentioned Pogba in the group, right? But when Pogba's first stint before the first time he left on a free, because he left on a free twice.
Don't make me really crash out. Don't make me really crash out.
When he first ran out of town, the midfield was good. The competition was strong, right? When he first didn't get you a transfer fee, like the competition in his position was strong. And even on his second stint, you had some good players there as well. Like I rate Ander Herrera, I rate him. Kobe is the competition. There's a meme. They said leave the football before the football leaves you. That's the guy who's playing minutes ahead of him. And the area is so bad. They're playing Bruno out of position to put in his space. He's just not good enough, and it's okay to accept that. You got to stop backing players that are bums, man. You did this for time with Martial. You wasted years on him, and you're doing it again. You're saying coming up through the ranks, but coming up through the ranks at Man United right now isn't the same as it was before. Okay, the real talent are going across town to get into their academy over there. Okay, that's where they really want to be. The best players, England, Europe, worldwide, they're trying to go there, blue side.
It's the only truth he said.
Man United's like one they can just squeeze into if you can. And congratulations to him, like making a career. Happy for him, young black man. But he can't get in a bad team. He's not got a player. He's not a good player, is he? That's just. I'm sorry, it's true.
The way you said young black man didn't sound like it came from a black man saying that. Like that is the honestly good. If I watched this on a podcast, I didn't know who's speaking. I wouldn't think that was a black man.
The fact that Mr. Love Island's getting more screen time than him. Well, do you know what I mean?
No.
All right, guys. Before we get cancelled for that little back and forth, guys, let's move on. We've spent a good half an hour on it. We've covered all those topics. I still agree to disagree on the group chat point, but weall spin the block later on in the season.
How
I'm
do
sure
you
we'll
feel
have another diabolical
How do you
game
feel you'll
like
get on
that.
with some of these the good guys going to AFCON as well? Just wanted to get your take because you're gonna lose your good ones.
I'm gonna be real. And Buemo's been cheeks for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So let him go, and he'll be knocked out with Cameroon with Onana in like 2 weeks. So let him just have a little chill, and he'll be back, hopefully playing better when he comes back. Ahmad is the one I feel that one hurts because he was actually good in that game, bro. I think we may not agree on most things, lads, but Ahmad, at least in that first half, was cooking the life out of Trufair on the left wing. And so he's been generally one of our better performers for the last season or so. So that one's going to hurt because putting Dallo at right back and seeing Dorgu at left back makes me just want to pack it in. So losing him is going to be bad. And yeah, Mazraoui, low-key is another player that we miss. He's a decent player, but overall, man, I'm not buying. I'm not having what the manager's doing on field and off the field at the moment. So I think you're just going to see the same inconsistency. I won't spoil the predictions for Villa, but we'll probably get spanked there. And then we've got 2 home games where we've actually been really poor at home in the last couple of weeks. So let's see, man.
Just a quick one. If Mbeumo is so cheeks, does those big chances he missed actually count as big chances if he's that bad?
Of course, bro. Cheeks, bro. Cheeks in the last 4 weeks. How many goals has he got? More than Gyökeres. All right, we'll move on to the Arsenal section now, guys. Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. Boy, we might need to spin the block on this section. Because you did win, big up, but the predictions that we put in last week, lads, there was 3-0, 4-0. I think we even said, shit, we might be over-egging the pudding. I think Io said as well, we might be jinxing this the way we're talking about Wolves. But yeah, boy, it was a difficult game. I'm not going to lie, lads. I fully fell asleep. It was very shit watching in the first hour of that game. And I woke up to see all the goals. So thank God. They weren't the greatest goals, but we got to see them all. We'll go to you first, Io. Arsenal win 2-1. What did you make of the game?
Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Nothing else to say about it, really. Obviously Wolves are bottom, but yeah, as I said as we were previewing, I just don't think. I think when teams play Arsenal, you're just going to get a different version of them compared to how they face other teams. Like they might be obviously more expressive, or they might play a bit more open against other teams, or feel like they have a chance. But against us, they're just going to sit back. And obviously, that's not an excuse. We should still break down Wolves, no matter what, of our talent. And we should, to score 2 own goals, like not have any big chances. It's alarming. It is concerning. It's worrying. But again, ultimately, we got 3 points. Like last year, we could have lost that game or dropped points by drawing it or something like that. So I think the resilience of obviously getting the goal after we went 1-1, that's a good sign for us. But yeah, we shouldn't be happy about it. Shouldn't be excited. Hopefully Arteta's kind of drilled into them like that is an unacceptable performance. Be playing like that at home in front of the home fans. And yeah, I think we just got to be let's try to stay positive. Hopefully things start to click a bit more because it's been a couple. It's been a tough couple of weeks, but that's what it's been, a tough couple of weeks. So, I mean, we're gonna have ebbs and flows. So it's not something. As long as you get the W in the end, like that's the main thing. Like we need the points more so, but the performance is just obviously you can't be happy with the performance, but we got 3 points, man, and City are breathing down our neck. So if we keep racking up points, they can't catch us. So that's just how that should be how the mindset is. It ain't pretty, but it's effective, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, fair dues. I don't disagree with any of that. Razor, what did you see? Because I watched Arteta's post-match, and I haven't seen him. He seemed a little bit angry, man. I haven't seen him a little bit angry for a little minute. He was like, that wasn't, a good performance in the last 10 minutes. He didn't really chat more about the kind of earlier parts, but there was that 10 minutes when Wolves, I don't know what happened to Wolves. Like from what I've seen of Wolves, they've been diabolical, but for 10 minutes they turned into prime Barcelona and they were just like swinging crosses in and doing all kinds of stuff. What did you make of do you agree with Arteta to be a little bit angry with that kind of 10-minute spell? Or do you think it's kind of natural when you're you're not playing that well and you're just trying to see the game out?
I want my gaffer to be angry. Yeah, I want Arteta to be angry after that performance. So I watched that game in the stadium. and I can't lie, the vibes were not up. Like the vibes were not great, but I think that's mainly to do with when we were playing in terms of like the fans and like just like the energy. There were a lot of tickets on a ticket exchange, which is usually good, which means you get like a lot of like things, but it felt a bit shaky. And then when we went out there and we didn't really make like, I guess what a lot of people, including us with the predictions, what we expected to make of the game, people were a bit like, what's going on? Like, what the hell's going on? But at the end of the day, like echoing Ayo, I want my gaffer to be angry, but I think the reasonable, realistic Arsenal fan perspective is where Ayo was, in the sense where he's saying like, we're like, the important thing is like winning these games, you know what I mean? Winning these matches, going through. It's like, were we great in that game? I don't think so. Was there a lot of things that like I think we could have maybe approached that game differently in terms of like resting players, maybe not starting a Rhys or a Zubimendi who's tired, and then having someone who has potentially got more like energy for it. Do you know what I mean? Like a Norgard and Ethan, like I can see that. Do you know what I mean? But then I think it also goes the same way in the sense that like Arteta doesn't play some of our bigger names there. We lose or we make a meal of it, and the criticism that he's facing is like, oh, you didn't respect Wolves, you didn't take the game seriously enough. And like I said, like we would have dropped points. Some of the old Arsenals that I've watched would have dropped points in that game. So I think overall it's about finding a way to win. Do you know what I mean? In terms of analysis of the game, like, yeah, I do think like Arsenal should have been better. I don't know if this is because Arsenal are expected to just crush teams and roll them over, or because it's a little bit of hating and dissing. I won't finish the word, but like in the sense that like people are acting like the Wolves that we've been seeing are the same Wolves that we've seen from the start of this like Premier League campaign. Like, yes, statistically they're the worst Premier League team ever, and I'm not going to pretend that I would have liked to have seen my, you know, title contenders deal with them in a more like sort of ruthless, efficient like manner. Do you know what I'm saying? But they're a new side. They're a slightly different side from the side that teams have been just pouring and rolling over. Do you know what I mean? And they did not set up in the same way. And I think that's the key thing. Like their manager now, he's bought into the project. He knows that like he's probably going to get relegated with this side. He's looking to make statements. And like Ayo said, I think Arsenal, especially Arsenal away, that's an opportunity to make a statement. Like we've seen it, man. Fulham want to do it. Luton want to do it. Every team want to do it. Like when they play us. And I think, you know, like there was some commentary talking about like, oh yeah, like we this team battered Luton and this team battered Wolves and that team battered Wolves. It's the manager, innit? Allow me. Man want to be like, oh yeah, we battered Wolves and Wolves are terrible. It's like Wolves didn't show up to play you, man, in the same way that they showed up to play us. Like they actually tried. Like they did not look like they were trying against some of the teams that they played this season. And I'm not gonna cry and complain about that. Like they're a Premier League side. People are paying good money to watch them. They should flip and try. Like they should flip and try. They shouldn't turn up to like other Premier League grounds and just spread the cheeks. So I'm not going to complain about them putting a bit of fight up. Do you know what I mean? Like, should we have been better? Absolutely. Do I want to see my gaffer angry? Absolutely. Some of the discourse, you know what I mean? Like the last time we won the league, we drew 1-1 with Charlton. I think we drew 0-0 with Fulham. I think we won 1-0 against Southampton. Like, put the fucking points in the bag and let's get on with the campaign. People losing their mind and being like, oh, what's going on? Is Arsenal having a crack? Shut up, man. We got 3 points. Bear man can't say that they got 3 points this week. We got 3 points. It's cool.
Man's talked about Luton and Charlton. That's a blast from the past, man. I love it. But actually, looking at Wolves' results, bro, that is just factually true. Like, they've literally only been pammed like 3 or 4 times this season. The rest of their games, they've been in them. They've lost by the odd goal here and there. They obviously got a draw at Tottenham. I know Tottenham are shit, but you know what I mean? That's still something, I guess. They've lost by a goal at Newcastle. They've lost that, you know, by a goal at Villa. I think they actually slapped Villa in that game and somehow managed to lose it. So they've had moments. But obviously off the back of the United game where they did set up completely differently, they totally didn't show respect and thought they could win. and they just got slapped.
And I
they
don't
didn't play
blame
that
them
same way, right?
for the record.
Most teams. I mean, Bournemouth did the same. The few teams that were like weirdly Sunderland didn't. They turned up and showed a bit of respect, and we beat them. If they actually went for it, maybe it would have been a tighter game. So it depends. Styles make fights, and I was just a bit surprised, man, that they were able to like carry that out so well. I was like weirdly impressed with them, and a bit disgraced at you because I had higher expectations that you'd be able to deal with it. So it was a bit of both. Khem, what's your take on this game, bro? Do you still think it's a cakewalk, one horse race? What's your vibes on it?
Definitely a cakewalk. But knowing my best friend was in the stadium, those 3 minutes, yeah, like when it was 1-1, that might be the best 3 minutes of the season for everyone but us, Io and Razor, like, and Johnson. But like, because when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like, this is amazing. After the things we said about Wolves, this is so good because they started shaking a little bit, trying to say City are in the race and all this rubbish. But then I was like, oh no, I saw it was still like 90 plus, like it's got like another 4 minutes left or some bollocks. And I was like, oh, they're going to get another one, man. 2 own goals. Oh my days, are you serious? Like, you beat the worst.
Did you watch the highlights?
You didn't even score,
Did
bro.
you watch the game?
So
Did you watch the highlights?
It was like Antony, I was struggling to keep my eyes open, bro. It was terrible. But at the end of the day, like you said as well, when you're at the parade in May remixing our songs, you're not going to remember that you beat Wolves 2-1. You're just going to remember that you are the champ. Like last year, we squeaked past Southampton 3-2 away. We squeaked past Leicester 1-0 away. Both teams went down. Do you know what I mean? We played like shit. No one remembers those results. You probably didn't until I just brought that up now. No one cares because we won. So it doesn't matter. Like you even referenced all the draws you had when you last won the league. 12 of them, by the way. 12 draws that time. But like, you're not going to remember it. You're not going to... I know, it's thanks to you guys, really. I'm so grateful to you lot being rubbish.
Talk about a cake class.
Do you know what? Because you lot were so trash, Slot is still a manager. Wow. That's actually your fault that we still have him. Do you know what I mean? Brendan Slot, we're stuck because of you. But like, yeah. But honestly, but yeah, like you're not gonna care about this in a few months. At the end of the day, this is a game you might have blown last year or the year before that. Definitely a draw in the past, maybe a defeat. Like you got it done. You won. You found a way to win the game. You've got that resilience this year, which you've displayed. I still say in the Sunderland comeback, even though the keeper let you down at the end, you came back to the lead. The way you take over games, you always have a way to fight back. You're always still in the game, and that's something that you've actually instilled this season more than other ones, and that's what's making it really annoying to hate watch you guys, because you do find a way to win games. And you had a crazy run of games, and now you've got we all have a week. Well, United are used to it, but we have a week between games now, which hasn't been the case for like a couple of months now. And like you said, you know, you're right when you said if you played a different team or a weakened team, you didn't respect Wolves. Like there's no winning in this situation unless you won the game, which you did. And those players get a bit of rest time. There's more time on the training pitch, etc., etc. So you just move on to the next game. Yeah, you didn't batter them like you were supposed to. It's a shame that not many fans showed up in what's a strong season, but it's also an opportunity to get tickets for other people who can't usually get it. So it's what it is, man. You just take the dub and on to the next one. That's how it goes in seasons like this. Antony will know all of those anyway. There's so many games you won't remember or care about that you won that were you played like shit, but you won, innit? You won't matter. It won't matter in the long run. Not every game's going to be a classic.
Yeah, I mean it happens. Winning it is the most important thing, and we kind of forget the Villa game was the last Prem game before that. So you just when you have a bad last minute defeat, to win in the last minute, you're kind of addressing some of that issue that you had from the previous game. So yeah, ultimately you got to give Arsenal credit, even if it was not pretty. What we talking about? What we talking about going forward, lads? Because Gabby Jesus came on again. I know he didn't get the goal. It was a bit of a Florian Hurt situation where he looked like he scored. Was an OG in the end.
He looked threatening. It was good to see. Like it's scary to see that they have a striker now in their ranks, because they were a striker away, but now they got Gabby Jesus back in. You know,
I'm not going to be insert favorite word now and say anything about Gyökeres in that game, because I pretty much fell asleep for the part that he played, and when I woke up, Gabriel Jesus was on or was coming on, and then I saw his impact. So I'm not gonna lie and act like Gyökeres had a stinker that I actually saw. I've heard, but I didn't actually see it. So Arsenal lads, tell me, what are we thinking? Are we still going to persevere as we welcome Rhys onto the pod? What up, bro? Are we going to persevere with Gyökeres, or are we going to shapeshift and put Marino back in? Or is Gabi Jesus the answer, or the original answer to the new question that is the old question? What are we talking, guys? Who's the striker up front? Razor, I feel like you're passionate about this one.
I feel like you said the bar already on this episode. Styles make fights. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think it's important for us to have as many of our players fit as possible. I'm not a lineup crash out guy. We have some of them in the group chat where they just see the starting 11 and they lose their wig a little bit. That's not my bag. I'm a bit more of a, okay, cool. What's the formation? Okay, cool. How are we playing this? Okay, cool. Who are we playing against? And I think that's the bag in it. Like Gabriel Jesus was perfect for that kind of thing. You saw him when we played against Wolves before. Him and Mosquera had a little unfinished business. Do you know what I'm saying? But he likes that. Ant's making that face like, yeah, I don't know if you can call it unfinished business when a man gropes your bum. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's one of them ones where I'm like, he's the kind of player that I want to see in that scenario. There are certain scenarios when I feel like we're going to want Gyökeres. I feel like we're going to want Havertz. I feel like Marino might even be the best choice. I feel like currently the discourse that we're having is whether Gyökeres has been impressive. You know what I mean? So far, I feel like the only objective answer that you can give is no. Am I super worried about it, given how the team around him is performing? No. I have my concerns. I was accused of not having any concerns. I have my concerns. I just think generally, like, a lot is being made of it because a lot of rival fans, strikers are not setting the Premier League on fire right now. Do you know what I mean? And they don't have the "but we're top of the league" retort to go back to. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why a lot is being made of it. I feel like a lot of scrutiny is being put on it. I feel like a lot of media PR that is not being put in there. You know what I mean? I seen an Athletic, I'll say it, I don't care. I seen an Athletic carousel today talking about how Gyökeres, you know, we should give him time, but like he's not been impressive. The same publication that like 3 weeks ago put out the same format of social media posts talking about how 007 for Wirtz was mean and we were hurting his feelings. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, the questioning comes in about what are people's intentions behind it. I think if we look at his gameplay objectively and like the expectations, even though realistically everyone looked at his goal scoring record in Portugal and went, he's not going to be able to do that in the Prem. He's not going to get the space to do that in the Prem. He's not going to get the time to do that in the Prem. He's going to have to adjust to the physicality. We've seen him in England before. He's basically fulfilling all the expectations that people had of him, apart from the wildly optimistic and very positive Arsenal fans, in the sense of being like, you will struggle. And he's struggling. That's very visible. And I feel like the scrutiny on it is more to do with the fact that you, man, have got a power forward that you can't trade before the NBA window. These guys spent bare peas on somebody that Khem referred to as a marathon runner. I don't know what the motivation was for that. Maybe it was his physique. I digress. Anyway,
allegedly.
Anyway, do you know what I mean? Even Rhys's lot, like João Pedro, I rate him. I like him. He's been in my FPL team for most of the season. I think he's quite good. Maybe claiming the number 2 spot after Ekitike in terms of effectiveness of attackers that have been brought into different sides in the top 6 this season, blah, 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 blah. But you've also got Brexit Ball's finest up there as well. And he's not offering nothing as far from what I've seen. He might have played a game that I did not watch and Liam Delap suddenly did something amazing, but he's not. So I feel like we're getting a lot of deflecting. People want to focus on Gyökeres because, oh, he's a builder. He's got a belly. Like, cool, whatever. He's not performing at the level. Other men around him are performing. And the more of them that get fit, the more Gabriel Jesus is able to do that. We saw it with Nelly. Nelly got a bit of competition. He started playing better football, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully, Gyökeres gets some competition. He gets out of his own head and he starts playing better football. It's not about whether he's living up to expectations. It's about why certain people are so focused on them. And I don't see their focus being on their strikers some of them who have less goals than Victor. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're still optimistic about it. Io, what's your take on it? Would you keep him in the lineup or would you shift it around?
No, I completely agree with Ray. I think it's just, styles make fights. It depends kind of who you're playing. I think it's good to have options. And yeah, as I said today, like I woke up and had two group chats getting crazy about that Victor Gyökeres compilation of chances missed. And I was just confused as to like, what are we even doing here? Because you can make a compilation about anybody to make them look bad or make them look good. Like it's just a poor discourse. Yes, he has been disappointing. Yes, we expect him to come in and score goals and be maybe half of what Haaland did for City, as like a goal scorer that knows what the goal is. Obviously, that's what we were hoping for based on his record, 100 goals in two seasons or something like that. We had faith. Obviously, it hasn't turned out that way, and he's been disappointing. Hasn't looked like the sharpest, but like we're still in this. Like we've still got time. Like if the more players that get fit, the better. And as Ray said, competition is good. So obviously now, if he knows that he needs to up his game because there's people like breathing down him, like pause before you guys say something crazy. There's people waiting to come on, and like so obviously Gabby Jesus, and obviously if Havertz come back, so there's competition, and competition makes you better. So for me, like Gyökeres is being poor. Like I'm not like it'd be stupid to say he's not being good, but there's things we're not doing as well to maximize his ability. But like the fact that we are winning and we're top of the table in this current situation, and we've got a striker that's not scoring goals, like I guess technically like it can only get better. The hope in me is like if it's not Gyökeres, maybe Jesus comes in and gets goals, or you put Marino up. So I'm just like it does like so. Of course, I want more from Gyökeres. We spent money on him. We had high expectations, but like mate, if he gets me 15 goals and him and Jesus are mixing and matching, and it's like you play Jesus against teams that need a bit more creativity. You play Gyökeres when you just need someone to be just in the box, try to be a fox in the box type of, then boom, you do that. Like it's good to have options. And I think that's what's been our problem over the last few seasons, being so one-dimensional. Teams know how to play against us. And like you know how to shut a player down. And I think like I just say like the narrative around like Havertz in the team, like we're doing such kind of like revisionist history. Because when he was playing up top, like yes, he could link up play, but my God, the guy was very poor as well. Like we all suffered watching him. There's a reason he went out and signed Gyökeres. So it's just like we can't act like this is news or like we needed a striker. We thought he might be the answer to our number 9 problem. So far he's not, but we've still got time, and like players are still learning. We're still getting players coming back in. As I said, I want Eze in centre mid in that Odegaard position. And like, it's just things that I think can benefit him more. So I've had to use a different phrase that way as well, if you guys know it, because I didn't. Well
done, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Done,
I had
bro.
to try rephrase that.
Maneuvered very well.
There we go. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, exactly. I think it just depends on personnel. So yeah, disappointed, Gyökeres, but I still have faith that he'll come good eventually. And if not, we have options. So that's what you need. That's what you need to win the title.
Like, I like it, guys. Very good analysis, proper, on point. I still think he's shit, but time will tell, and we'll see. Right? I'm not ruling out that he's not shit, but from what my eyes have seen, not the Wolves game, just to clarify again, snoozing, but the other games I've seen, he's been shit mostly for me. But it could be down to the team not setting up. It could be down to him getting used to the league and whatever else. Like, it's totally possible. But from my perspective, along with Sesko, along with who else has been shit? Obviously, Khem's lad. Khem's lad has been the shittest of all of them. They've been shit.
Thank God for Ekitike.
Yeah, that's the only thing saving you, Khem. Otherwise, the smoke for you would be diabolical. It should be diabolical already, because you've got Wirtz and Isak both stinking up a storm. But only Ekitike is out here saving you. So,
well, if they're giving Gyökeres time, then we should give the other two time.
And on that bombshell, let's move to the Liverpool segment. 2-0 win. Let's get no 20-minute soliloquies, broski. It's
Rhys needs to talk about Arsenal. Let Rhys talk about Arsenal. We don't need to.
All right, yeah. All right.
We can miss Liverpool this week. It's all good, guys.
No. We'll talk about Liverpool, but you're very right. Bad hosting from me, Rhys. What's your take on the? Yeah, but you're even worse. Rhys, what's your take on the Arsenal game and the Gyökeres situation? You've obviously had Razor did the tour of all the strikers, comparing them all. What's your take on it?
Well, the Arsenal game. I think I heard a lot of discourse about the performance, but I think they should just be thankful that they're taking points even when they're playing bad, and just move on to the next game. But I think that's what the consensus was amongst these lot. I don't know. So I'll keep it short because we all know Khem wants to talk about Liverpool so much. Yeah, Gyökeres, I think it's a classic example of just someone adapting to the league and getting up to speed. To be honest, we've seen it. I don't think it's a bad time for strikers right now. I mean,
it's a drought. It's a drought.
Yeah, I think we've always said like number 9s are in short supply, and there's a few number 9s floating about, and they ain't living up to the hype. So, I'm not saying he gets a pass, but I think he's going to need more time, and Arsenal can just be thankful that if Jesus comes back and Havertz comes back, and you've got options there, and like Ray said, like different options for different games. Styles make fights and that. So I think I wouldn't worry too much now. I think if it's coming to a point where, because they're getting goals amongst the team anyway, so it's not something.
And own goals.
Own goals. And the set pieces will come in handy sooner or later. I wouldn't worry. I
can't remember the last time we scored from a set piece. Just like it's been a long time. Mate.
Sky Sports put all them graphics out to like pasture. They're all in the hospice. No more set piece tables.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, guy. That first goal, the own goal, should be a set piece goal. It's a corner from Saka, bounces off the goalie's arse and in. That's a set piece goal.
It's got.
Come on, lads. Come on.
Technicalities
there in terms of set piece goals.
Look at you guys looking for the grey areas, bro. Own goal from a corner.
Definitely up there with set piece goals still.
Yes, of course.
No, they are.
But it's been a while since
you scored all your goals early on. You scored them early on.
That's it, man. Go to a good start.
Do you know what I like? I like goals that lead to 3 points. I don't really care how they come out,
especially with Man City breathing down your necks. So we'll see.
If I talk about neck breathing today, man.
It's mad. It's mad. You guys are going nuts today, and it's not only Io this time, so he's got company. All right, let's go on to the Liverpool Brighton game, since Khem is just chomping at the bit. Another pause there. Apologies, my fault. 2-0 home win. Ekitike, 2 goals. Salah comes on the pitch, little assist. He does a little talk, like a lap of the stadium at the end, waving to people. What did you make of the game, Ken? Please, no 20-minute soliloquies. It's already almost 10 to 11. We're not ramping with it, so keep it shortish.
Is Jonty going to wake up for this one?
I don't know. I'll watch it back.
Well, first of all, it's taken him until December to play the formation that suited the player he brought in, especially the fullback position. It's taken his illegitimate son to get injured to actually play a style that will work. Because I started off and I was so hostile towards Kirkes, and he was a bit of a bum at the first couple of games. But then I realized, you know what? Nah, man, he deserved better. And that was the first time he looked like Bournemouth Kirkes against Brighton, bombing up and down, providing space, crossing it in first time, things like that. None of this weird inverted woke Pep freak shit build-up play as a third centre-back. Yeah, he didn't do that ever in his career. He's only 21, so why are we asking him to do something now he's never done before and then criticise him? So he did that. Obviously, Gomez actually played well, but as usual, injured. That's why I couldn't understand why you were suggesting dropping Van Dijk for someone his body won't last more than 2 matches in a row. Look at him, he fell apart already. So if Frimpong can stay fit, that would suit him on the other side. Because this is what they have to do. They brought the players in to build the attack. Because all the goals came from one guy. They need to now start utilising and having more goals from different positions. So, yeah, cool to see. We considered a lot of chances, but it's kind of like the Frankfurt game. The last time I think he played a similar style in that match. We conceded a lot of chances. Frankfurt are garbage. We did win 5-1, but we conceded a lot of chances. But we were a bit better going forward, at least a lot of rotations in midfield, a bit more compact. So just it's the thing I've been saying for freaking weeks. Just take something, stick to it, and run with it. And if it goes well, great. If not, we have an identity. Just that's all I ask. Because for ages I didn't know what are Liverpool right now. We're not great still with the pressing. I don't know if it's just better off just dropping deep and winning it back and then trying to build up like that way and countering quickly. They have to figure that one out, because the marathon runner comment was harsh, but the guy didn't press, man. I know he didn't press at Newcastle, but it's just like the laptop nerds should know this, okay? And you bought 2 lanky strikers, okay? So pressing shouldn't really be the style, but it's weird because they're 2 lanky strikers that don't really win like headers or long balls. They prefer it into space, into feet kind of strikers. So that's why I keep saying it's up to the coach to figure that out. He's somehow still in the job, because when you look at our overall record this season, it is terrible, man. Like, it's our worst start since the 50s is matching United's best start in about 5-6 years. And that says it all. Like, they are god awful. We just made fun of them for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, yeah, and we're still below them. That's how garbage we are, okay? But here we are. He's still in a job. Good for him, because certain people couldn't keep up the pace last season. So yeah, like, you know, we'll see what happens. We play Spurs. They're terrible. We're terrible. So it's a bit of a bum bowl basically. But we'll see what happens in that match. Could win, could draw, could lose. I don't know. But
all right. We'll get into that. We'll get into that match later. But let's talk about Salah then. Yeah.
He didn't do a lap of the stadium, by the way. He clapped the cop and went off the pitch. He'll go in the summer, dude. Because let's also factor in, like, the last AFCON he played, he left the tournament injured. That could happen. No team's going to buy an injured guy. So you have to see how it plays out. Yeah, he was pissed off he got benched, but they need to figure that out. No one's good in that team anyway, so everyone could have had the same crash out. I don't know why he's made the scapegoat. We spoke about that last week. I spoke about it a lot last week. I won't do it again. So, yeah, we're not good, but yeah, we beat Brighton. I think we got lucky. They wasted some good chances, but luck went on our side this week. It's just about building a run of games now for this team. Stick to a plan, go from there. Don't cry about long balls, injuries, 3 games a week, none of this stuff, because we've done it the year before, the year before that, the year before that. The players are used to it. Just win games and look nice on the pitch. That's it.
All right, well done, bro. You've kept it under 10 minutes. I'm proud of you. I disagree, though. I think Salah's gone, bro. I know it wasn't the stadium lap that we initially that I initially asked before, but I feel like they're trying to flog him like in the background. They're trying to get rid of him. They're not trying to keep him on that contract for long. So I think they'll use this opportunity to play the system that you really want to see. It will probably, work in a decent way, because I think you guys have been unbeaten since Salah's been out of the team, so they'll feel somewhat vindicated.
Such an asterisk on that unbeaten, man.
No, I know. I agree that that's rubbish, right? But I think the laptop nerds and the guys that are trying to push him out will use that to try and back up their stance. And I think that's why they'll try.
He's so vain. He'd want to send off. Like, he loves the attention.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll run out the door, because it's not a situation where like the gym is from the the 50s or something like that. Like, the standards of his working life are still good. So like, it's just the playing side isn't great, but like, he still enjoys going to work at the training ground. The food is fresh. It's not, microwave.
What are you talking about?
It's not rustlers. Like, I'm thinking back to Ronaldo when he went on Piers Morgan. He went there and was like, "Boy, hang on a second. Everything's the same as when I left here 10 years ago." So it's not the same. He'll
Man's talking about rustlers.
He'll leave. He'll get his proper clap, like Firmino, like Gerrard, like people that are left nicely. He's too. But he can't go out like this. He can't go out like this. He will leave in the summer.
All right, bro. I don't agree, but we can move on. Now, it's only fair, right? I'm a fair man, right? Contrary to what's been going around in the group chat recently. So let's talk about Isak, lads. It's only fair. I've talked about Gyökeres on 2 pods now. Let's talk honestly and openly about Alexander Isak. I'm going to say it as well. He wasn't shit, but he might be shit now. because what's going on with him is not good. And what Arnie said about needing, did he say he needed Jacob Murphy or something like that? Am I wrong? Am I bugging? Or did he say something along them lines?
We might have to stop listening to Arnie Slots.
Broski, if your manager's telling you that you need to buy a subpar winger who knows how to spam crosses to get the best out of your £135 million striker, I'm never going to talk about Gyökeres again, guys. We're only talking about Isak going forward. Isak is on fraud watch for the rest of the season, guaranteed. I'm going to go to Razor the same way I went to you on the Gyökeres section, bro. Come on. Please don't give Isak more time excuses. He's been in the league for years and years. He was apparently better than Haaland and all these other things that some people have said. He can't be catching life now. He's been diabolical, bro.
I think his time is up, like time-wise. Like I've been insulting a lot of strikers in defense of my striker, but I think given all of consistently, if I was to look at all of the things and look at like Gyökeres and Šeško who are adjusting to a new league, even if I was to look at like someone like Liam Delap, who's gone from being like, I'm going to play every single game almost and be kind of one of like be a focal point and a proper point of this team. And he's gone from being a big fish in a smaller pond to now being a insignificant speck in the ocean that is Chelsea comparatively. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody else almost has an excuse. If this was the other way around and Ekitike was failing to perform, I would have the same amount of sympathy and time I'd like for Ekitike. Do you know what I mean? It's not though. It's Isak. It's Mr. Every team in the division wanted him. It's Mr. I'm throwing a tantrum. I'm not coming on the preseason tour. I'm training with my brethren instead of the squad. And his time ran out a lot faster than anyone else's time would have. Like I feel like it's mad that everyone has been so focused on Wirtz, to be honest. If I was Wirtz, I would feel like hard done by. I'd be there being like, what about my man? What's going on here, bro? This isn't fair.
Nah, Wirtz is shit as well, bro. Wirtz is shit.
No, Wirtz is shit, but he could be in the process. No, Wirtz has been shit, I would say, because I actually, before Liverpool signed him, I actually really, 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 really rated him. I think he's a fantastic player. And I think he has an opportunity to find that form. I think the problem with Isak is that like you've done this, bro. You've slapped goals against these teams before. Like you've been in these stadiums. Like act like you've been here before. You have been here before. Why aren't you acting like that? Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And I actually think the whole circus with Salah is a bit of a distraction from the fact that like that's what, if I was a Liverpool fan, that's what would concern me. Salah this, Van Dijk that, whatever. Arne Slot said he needs these players or he wants these players. Liverpool have got these players or Liverpool have identified these guys that are supposed to take them beyond. Salah and him having beef, okay, cool, that's one level of concerning. This guy and Wirtz and arguably Kirkes, like, and you know what I'm saying? It's starting to show a pattern. It's like, all right, cool, we're giving you the players that you want for your system. It's not slapping like that. You're having to play them in a different system, and then arguably would you have got different players for those profiles? Do you know what I'm saying? So I just think overall, he needs to. We said it at the start of the season. We said he's on fraud watch. Wirtz is on fraud watch. We said it like you're on fraud watch. The standards are higher for you. That's what happens when you break the transfer. No, it's the same reason that guys have like this inflated, like sort of scrutiny of players like Pepe or Antony. Because really and truthfully, like, what are they? Like, were they ever like deemed to be world-class players? Were they ever deemed to be players that were gonna like change? That could like. Then none of them are Messi or Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? None of them are Neymar or Mbappe. But when you get the price tag, you have to fulfill the price tag. And these guys have got the price taggiest of price tags. And they're not fulfilling shit.
Just like I agree.
You listen, don't turn me into Ant. You keep Paul's name out of your stinky mouth. Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
But all I'm saying is, Wirtz, trash, but I will give him more time because he's getting used to it. I feel like he could get used to it and actually be a really good signing as much as I've been taking the piss. Isak, looks like he got space jammed. And that's not good, bruv. If you can do it in Tyneside, why can't you do it on the Merseyside? What's going on? He needs to train with the under 23s. He does.
This is,
You lot
bro.
laughing,
This
I'm not
is
joking. He needs
no,
he
no.
needs
I
to
agree
train
with you.
young G's. Rio
I
should
agree
be
with you. I agree
playing
with you.
ahead of him, not Ferdinand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's looking spooky. Quickly before we move on, do you agree? Is it only fair to put Isak on fraud watch and give him, a little bit more attention when it comes to misfiring strikers?
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't know how he doesn't get critiques more. I don't know how Gyökeres is the prime example of failed strikers in the league when Isak is right there, is front and center. And again, as Rhys says, not just Isak. You've got João Pedro, you've got Liam Delap. Like, there's so many strikers. Sesko, yeah, like there's some, like, as bad as Gyökeres has been, there's so many bad strikers. Like, there's just so many bad strikers that have played, and like João Pedro was 60 mil or something crazy like that as well. Like, he had expectations to come in and be like lead the line as well in a bit.
Sesko, 8 mil.
Says there you
Bro,
go.
that's less than. But
I don't appreciate
the price.
I don't appreciate you chiming in, but I
price.
appreciate you chiming in with some of that as well. Like, I don't appreciate it, but kind of somewhat.
I agree with you, brother.
But no,
Isak's been crap.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's crazy that he doesn't get as much scrutiny, and he's somehow been managing. Like, after all the antics in the summer, if there's one thing that could have stopped people like bitching at him was if he came out and just instantly started bagging. But the fact is, did all those antics, caused up such a ruckus, and he's just been absolutely stinky. Yeah, he has no he has no excuse. Yeah, he's the biggest flop of the season so far, like, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I don't agree with some of the 60-70 million pound bracket that have generally all been pretty stinky, minus Khem's attempt at throwing in Buemo and a few other players who's actually been pretty good.
You just said you were glad he was gone to AFCON.
No, I said his form was bad. Don't try this, you cheeky git. The problem is Isak costs double that. Double. More than double, actually, for most of those players. So we got to give double the amount of Vim for Isak than we give all of them other players. I agree with the Gyökeres point, even though I think he's shit. Double Isak Vim. He deserves it way more. Diabolical. In the league, caused a fuss. The laptop nerds just spunked away all their savings. Crazy. We can't be doing this. He's been diabolical. Rhys, you agree?
I do, yeah. He's been terrible. But I think you should always obviously think about the circumstances surrounding being so shit. Like, in terms of like Liverpool not doing good. He kicked up a fuss at Newcastle in the summer, so didn't get a pre-season. So he's always been working towards his fitness. The whole hype around the transfer has obviously got to his head. So I think it's the expectation as well that's kind of damaged him and not helped his progression at Liverpool as quick as it could. But yeah, I think in terms of he needs to improve. He does need to click on, but so does the whole Liverpool team at the end of the day. And I think in terms of, I think he really let himself down in the summer. So I think that sort of has had a knock-on effect in terms of how he started the season. And when I say let him down, I mean just like refusing to go on that tour with Newcastle, not playing a game until after the transfer window. So I just think all them factors are not going to help you no matter who you are. But yeah, if Liverpool were firing, he might have helped. But
yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go on to your team then, bro. Chelsea. 2 games this week. 2 wins. Right, you missed last week's pod, which was, I think, 2 defeats or at least a draw and a defeat. It wasn't the greatest week. Maresca was out in convenient. Yeah, we won't say you're ducking, but you've raised the point. 2-0 win at Everton. We'll start with that. I actually watched this game. It was a decent game. Everton, for a period, at least in the second half, were definitely in that game. Hit the post, had some chances. Could have made it 2-1 at some point as well, which is very annoying because that was my predicted score. But it ends 2-0. What did you make of the game, Rhys? Did you think it was a deserved win, or do you think it was as tight as I kind of mentioned?
No, I do think for a period Everton could have got back in the game. I think we kind of did well to see the game out, considering the recent run of form we had. So yeah, and a clean sheet. So you've got to sort of take the positives. It wasn't a great performance from the team, but yeah, like Palmer's back. There's a lot of chances for Garnacho, which I don't think I'm going to get onto him for, because I think I'm going to allow him. He's going to get a pass. Because hopefully once he finds his feet, he might be putting them chances in the back of the net. And he bagged 2 goals.
He did against Cardiff, yeah.
So yeah, you can't really complain. Just keep getting in those positions, I guess. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So, but with the Everton game, yeah, I think it was a difficult game, but we was also coming off the back of the defeat to Leeds and the draw to Bournemouth and the loss to Atlanta. So, yeah, it was. You take it, just take the 3 points, move on, get the confidence up, and move on to the next game, which was Cardiff. And yeah, wow, definitely. I think if we played against a Premier League team, it might have been different. And you can really see the contrast in the first and second teams that we have. Just in terms of they just don't seem up for a fight as much. Cardiff had a lot of chances. I think they bullied us a bit in the first half, and it wasn't until the subs came on we kind of looked more like a Premier League team, but that was because Cardiff got a bit more leggy as well. So I think we were fortunate maybe to survive the first half and come through it. But yeah, you just sort of take the positives on the chin and on to the next round. Hopefully we get a cup final day out, and yeah, but we've got to go through either Arsenal or Palace, I've just heard, so not really excited.
Is it? Has the draw happened, yeah?
Yeah. So I think it's Newcastle City. Is it Newcastle City?
Yeah. Newcastle City and Chelsea will take on either Arsenal or Palace. Okay. All right, nice. Is it still 2 legs, guys? Do you know? Because I heard they were trying to change it to just a single leg. Still 2 legs.
I think it's still 2. Yeah.
All right. That should be good. What do you last one, Rhys, before we get the lads' opinions on your games. Maresca came out in this press conference talking about he's had the worst week. There's been some chatter about, there's a little bit of maybe beef or disagreement between him and the board. Do you think it's actually realistic that he could be relieved of his duties in the season, or do you think it's just paper talk and just speculation?
Yeah, no, I think I don't think they'll let him go anytime soon. Maybe I think they'll review it at the end of the season, but I think that kind of came from that obviously built up. It seemed like a bit of a lack of support for the last few games, maybe for him from the board, more than anything. I think maybe the criticism of his team selections and the fact that maybe he made so much changes for the Leeds game, and maybe just his maybe tactical section. So I think it was more from, because obviously after the game he meets with the sporting directors and the board and they do this little run through of the game. So maybe he just felt a bit frustrated that he wasn't getting enough support. But I think maybe he also feels frustrated with the players he has, and the lack of experience. I think maybe it's starting to show slightly, because obviously when we lose one, we might go on a run of bad games rather than losing one, picking ourselves up and going again. So I think it's just a built-up frustration. I wouldn't read too much into it, but I think the fact he's just come out of nowhere and said it without being provoked is gonna it's just like, when you've got something on your mind and you're just desperate for someone to ask you what's wrong, and like, what's wrong, Enzo? And you just thought, oh well, now you've asked, and then he just like gone on this like spiel of. But I think it's more just frustration, criticism of maybe his tactics in the recent run of games and the losses. But I wouldn't read too much into it. I think the board are always gonna maybe. Like, he's always going to have to answer to them and have a conversation with them, and sometimes there will be disagreements in terms of the way they play. But I wouldn't read too much into it now. I think he's kind of moved on. We've kind of moved on, and we just want to on to the next game, really.
Yeah, fair enough. I do think there's no smoke without fire, though. So there's obviously something that's pissing him off. in the background, and you man are definitely known for being a little bit less trigger happy than under Roman, but you never quite know. When you've got managers like Iriola and Glasner that might be on the market, I don't think it would be crazy for them to make a crazy decision out of the blue and just get rid of him and bring someone else in like that. So I think maybe something to watch. Khem, what did you make of the Chelsea? Go on, Rhys. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that's true, but at the same time, you got, because it's the model. Like there are these managers available, but who's going to come in and sort of work under this regime in terms of it's a very set way of doing things. We buy a certain type of player. Like we won't give, like Maresca was crying out for a defender even in his press conferences in the summer. Do you think we gave it to him? No. And he soon backed down. So unless you're willing to work like that, then and do you think people like Iriola or Glasner are going to come into a regime like that? They need more say about the players they're going to have. So it's a very particular manager that will come in. And I'm not saying Maresca is a yes man, because obviously with this outburst, he does seem like, that things are pissing him off. But I don't think it's as clear cut as, this manager's there, we'll just go grab him. Because are you willing to work under these two idiot sporting directors sitting at the top, telling you about football when you just worked with Pep Guardiola?
Unexpected crash.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, let me get back in my box. No,
that was good. I'm glad to have a company on the crashing. Khem, what's your take on the Chelsea results? Are you still of the mindset that they're top 4 only, or do you think they can try and sneak back in the title race?
No, the title race is just one team, but like they should be the title race. They spend a lot of money, but they should get top 4. They got their results because there's no pressure on them right now. Whenever the same Rhys was missing, but I said last pod, when they were second to us last year and there was talk of them title challenging, they just fell off. So it backs his statements, unfortunately, that they're not ready yet, apparently, after the outlay. So they will be there or thereabouts, and probably a strong cup run as well. That's Chelsea over the last few years. They'll always be there to compete for a trophy and usually win one, which is good to represent London. So, but with Maresca,
man, I hate him. Please, man, I've got to stop you, because you talk about outlay. You talk about outlay that Chelsea spent. You spent 400 million and you're not in the title race.
Net spend was about 180, and they spent like 2 billion.
Like,
by the way,
talking about representing London, like you weren't born here, but you support a team halfway up the country.
You live down the road in Stamford Bridge, and you're wearing that top. What are you doing? You're raised on the Thames.
Where was I raised? That's a
raised on the Thames.
It's a
raised on the Thames.
We'll stick ridiculous. Rhys, great cogent analysis.
Made in Chelsea,
but Khem, just full of absolute crap.
Made in Chelsea.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Chelsea are in the were in the title race.
I'm glad to hear the bass in your voice because you were sick today. But like with Maresca, I also realized a bit like Slot, his title is actually head coach, like Slot. So like I feel like he might actually be told who to play, or he doesn't have as much say in. Obviously, he ain't got much say in the recruitment, but like because he, like Rhys said, he was crying for a few players and they didn't bring it. So I think he's fighting with one hand tied behind his back. I think he's doing what he can. I don't think they should get rid of him. They should stick with him and see whatever this plan is out, at least for another year or a year or two. And they will compete. They'll compete for trophies and slowly build up. They're going for a younger profile of player and building up from there. So yeah, you just have to like take the L's and take your learnings and go from there. So yeah, that's my take on them.
Yeah. Let's see how Chelsea do. Obviously, they've got this Carabao Cup semi-final to come, potentially against Arsenal.
Can I just ask on the Carabao Cup, why are Arsenal playing next week instead of this week? Like, was there a reason for that? If I missed it, my bad.
Crystal Palace are in the UEFA Conference League, which means extra fixtures.
Oh, my bad. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Palace thing. All right, well, let's go into the preview section then, lads. We've done a good hour and 25 minutes on all of our games. I feel like we've covered everything as much as we can. Let's get into the previews then. But before we get into it, prediction league update. So Io's top, 57 points, 9 correct scores. Khem is second.
By the way, no, I just wanted to hear that part. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Khem is second, 53 points, 9 correct scores. Rhys is third, 53 points, 8 correct scores. Johns is fourth, 53.7 correct scores. Razor is fifth, 49 points, 4 correct scores. I am sixth, 47 points, 5 correct scores. And Nash is still seventh, but he's got 40 points now. He's joined the 40-point club and 5 correct scores. Unfortunately, someone didn't make the prediction deadline. And yeah, it feels like bullying at this point. But yes, it is Nash. He hasn't sent them through.
I'll call it that.
Everyone
man.
else,
you know what? Like he's making a
made
comeback. He's making a comeback. Razor, Antony, you need to be scared. Nah, fuck that. He's got to play by the rules. Boo, boo Nash, boo Nash's comeback. Sorry, I have strong feelings on this.
Fair dues. Yep. We got I don't know, man. It would take a right collapse for any of us to let Nash not finish last. Let's put it that way. We'll get into the first game then. I think is it at 12:30? I think Newcastle Chelsea on Saturday. It's definitely with the earlier kickoff. Might be 3 p.m. Io, since you're top, what's your prediction on this Newcastle Chelsea? It's at St James's Park.
Oh god, sorry. I've got 2-1 to Castle. 2-1 to Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
I am going 1-0 to Newcastle. Mike Will made it to score at the right end this time.
Fair dues. Rhys, what's your prediction on this one?
Gone 2-2 out of hope.
Fair enough. Newcastle Johnson's gone 2-1 Chelsea, so he's gone Chelsea win. Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
I've also gone 2-1 Chelsea.
All right, another 2-1.
I've
also gone 2-1 Chelsea. And yeah, obviously Nash no score submitted, so we'll skip him. Io, Man City, West Ham. What's your prediction on this one?
I've gone 4-1 to City.
All right, Khem, what's your prediction on that one?
2-1 City.
Okay, 2-1. Rhys, what's your prediction on this one?
I went 3-0 City.
Okay, 3-0. Johns has gone 4-0 City. Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
I've gone 3-0 City. I was near the Olympic Stadium, the Queen Elizabeth Stadium, the whatever they call it stadium with the running track last week when they lost to Villa. And there is zero belief in East London right now. Zero belief. And for that purpose, I don't think they're going to score any goals. I think they hate themselves.
They've always got that.
Irons.
I've also gone 3-0 as well. Io, what's your Spurs Liverpool prediction? Big Six game, only one of the week. What do you think is going to happen in this game?
I went 2-0 Liverpool. So they can finally try rejoin the title race eventually, like they should have been for a long time.
Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
Stop adding Spurs to the Big Six. I went 3-1 Liverpool. I don't really mean it, but here we are.
Fair dues. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
I went 2-2.
All right, 2-2 draw. Johnson's gone 2-1 Liverpool. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I've also gone 2-1 Liverpool. I think Liverpool are rubbish, but like they're getting okay-ish through their rubbishness, and Spurs are rubbish, but they don't look likely to be any less rubbish, which I enjoy thoroughly. But I genuinely think Spurs are so whatless and woeful that they'll probably let Isak get like a brace, and it'll make the things that I've said about him on this pod look really foolish. I still stand by them. I still stand by thinking that Liverpool are terrible. I just think Spurs are more terrible now and forever, to be honest.
There's no chance. There's no chance Isak scoring 2 against them. All right, he's shit. But I've also gone Liverpool 3-1. Yeah, insert Spurs are shit here. I'll add it in every week of this pod. Yeah, I actually think, guys. Nah, mate. Spurs are shit. And I said, are they title contenders when they were not being shit early in the season? But I've been proven wrong. I thought you guys were title contenders. I was proven wrong about that. I thought City was shit as Man United. I was proven wrong about that. But I will not. I will not be proven
wrong. There's a theme
wrong
here, Anthony.
No. I will not
stop listening to
you
your
don't
takes.
know
It's
ball,
making sense why only Nashes blow you in the table.
bro. But I will
and
not
why
be
you
wrong
support
about
Manchester
Spurs.
United.
I will not be wrong about Spurs, and I'm pretty sure all of you will agree with me on that one. So
The
Liverpool
one
gonna win 3-1
time, you've not been wrong about Spurs is when your team gave them a European trophy. So, okay.
I predicted that as well. But anyway, let's get into Everton Arsenal. Aya, what's your prediction in this one?
2-1 to the boys. 2-1 to the boys. Arsenal, hopefully.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Oh,
Khem,
sorry.
what's your prediction?
2-1 to the champions elect.
No one's just going to say Arsenal, yeah? Okay, fair enough. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
Yeah, I've got 1-0 Arsenal. I think it will be close. And I think if they struggled for goals against Wolves, Everton's the last place you want to go. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Hill Dickinson Stadium. Johnson's gone 2-1 Arsenal. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I feel very foolish because I was going to say 2-1 Arsenal, and then I had some courage, namely Guinness, and I amended it to 2-0, and now everyone's like 2-1, 1-0. I'm like, but fortune favors the bold, so we shall see how bold I feel this time next week.
I just think we concede it against Wolves, man. We can concede against anyone.
Yeah. Do you know what that sounds like? That sounds like you're using analytics, so shush.
No.
Those are just facts, mate. Goals are goals. I've gone 2-1 Arsenal as well. I think you win, but yeah. I can see what's his name? Dewsbury Hall or one of them guys, or Indai or someone like that. Yeah.
How's man acting like he does? How's he acting like he doesn't know Dewsbury Hall after he dunked on him at Old Trafford?
I was gonna say his first name first, but then man's got a double-barreled name, mate. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Let's be real.
He should be ingrained in your.
Our goalie should save that as well. I'm gonna put him on forward watch as well.
Baby Courtois.
Yeah. No, Baby Kudicini is his new name, mate. He's on forward watch for me. All right, we'll go to Villa United. Aya, what's your prediction on this one?
Oh gosh, yeah, the 3-1 to Villa. It's gonna be glorious to watch.
We need to chat about Villa as well, because I know they were a bit ropey against West Ham, but they still managed to get a win in the end. And Morgan Rogers has gone absolutely mad. He keeps scoring like long range thunderbolts, and just generally, Villa are looking serious. I'm not going to add them to the potential title challengers predictions that I've already done this season, but they're looking very good, man. So yeah, 3-1 makes sense. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
2-0 to Villa. How are you the only game that we have to observe on Sunday?
Don't ask me, mate. Don't ask me.
Should be on TV.
I'm just glad it's not on a Monday, bro. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
I went 3-1, but it could be more with you lot's defense and your home form.
Just to clarify, you're 3-1 Villa, right?
Yeah. Sorry, 3-1 Villa. It could never be Man United.
Thank you, bro. We beat you though, so just hold tight. All right, Johns went 3-1 Aston Villa as well. Razor, what's your prediction on this one? Hey, Rhys is the only one who's allowed to have long pauses. What's going on? Come on, Razor. Give me your prediction, bro.
Hey, Io is the king of long pauses. Anyway, realistically, I went with 2-1 to Villa because I actually agree with Rhys in the sense that you man are leaky. Like you are leaking goals for fun. 4 at home against Bournemouth, and you thought you still deserved to win the game. But yeah, no, 2-1. No. The main reason I think 2-1 is because I feel like Villa are like a control, like they're not gonna like rip you to shreds. I don't think they're gonna rip you to shreds unless you guys offer it to them. And I feel like you've started learning to have shame. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping. I don't know why my hopes involve Manchester United Football Club, but there we go.
It feels wrong for you to say hope in that way. We we don't have Shane, bro. We're definitely conceding at least 3 in this game, and it could be more. So I've gone 3-2 Villa, but yeah, it could be 4-3, could be 5-3, it could be all kinds of.
Who's getting your 2
scores.
goals if your best players are going to Africa?
Going to Africa, yeah. All right.
So wait, hold on. No. Point of reference. You, for someone who says you don't like Jamie Carragher, you've sounded like him a couple of times during this podcast. Yeah. Earlier on, yeah. When
I don't know where they're having their training camps.
When you were talking about Manchester United players going
I don't know where in Africa the players are
having
having their training camps.
And run back the tape. Run back the tape. This guy was talking about the good ones. The good ones. He sounded like a reform MP. That's all I'm saying.
They've got pre-tournament fixtures.
If you listen to this podcast and you don't know who's speaking, you don't think Khem is a black man from London.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. I don't know where they're having their pre-tournament training camps. Okay, it could be anywhere in Africa. Okay, and Mbeumo could be in Tunisia. He could be in Morocco. He could be in South Africa right now.
Broski, all right, Broski. I will educate you. Yeah, I will educate on this. AFCON's happening in Morocco.
AFCON's a tournament.
So they're all going to be training. No, AFCON is happening in Morocco, broski, and they will all be training in different parts of Morocco. So there you go. You can just say they're all going to be in Morocco.
Okay.
Bro, I hope so. The tournament starts in like a few days. So if they change it from now, we're all fucked, aren't we? So it's in Morocco. I think we can say
any AFCON team is not in Morocco right now. I promise you, it's just Nigeria. That is the only shit. That's the shit that we would do. It's just us, man. Everyone else is there.
No, you're there. It's only Ghana that's not there.
Oh no, I meant in terms of teams that are meant to be there. Hold tight, the egg man. Them.
You'll be there, but yeah. No, bro. To answer your disingenuous question, Khem, I imagine like 2 or 3 of the people that scored against Bournemouth would score again, i.e., Bruno, Casemiro, Cunha. I know you might think they're African, but they're not. All right,
isn't
they will score, bro.
Suspended? Isn't Cass suspended?
Okay, so the other 2, and I predicted 3-2, bro. So yeah, my maths is still Asian, so I'm right. Don't worry. But yeah, we'll lose that game. I'm pretty sure. And Nash, of course, has not predicted anything. So, bro, you still got time. That's what I'm saying. Tic tac. All right, we'll wrap up the pod here. Hour and 37. Shout out everyone for joining, especially Io as well, being sick as well. Made it through the whole stream. Yeah.
Io seemed very well. I'm not sure if that's just because my only frame of reference is when his internet was making him seem unwell, but you seemed all right, bro.
You've lucky that my mic has been muted for some of the visceral sounds I've been making. So trust me, I hope you're glad that I've done that and didn't share this with the rest of the world and yourselves. Trust me.
And with that vivid image, we'll end the pod here. See you guys next week.
Free Kobe Manu.